Technology marches ever forward, or so we're led to believe, and it seems with progress comes growth, not just for the manufacturer, but the product. Thankfully, Geekom do not see things the same way, and thanks to Geekom supplying me with one of their myriad of mini PCs for review, we can delve into something a little different. They offer a range of specs and form factors to suit all pockets and needs. Now this particular A5 2025 mini model is around the entry level, but it still packs a great deal of tech into a neat, tiny and well built package. An all-in-one versatile PC packing an AMD DirectX 12 capable GPU, running dual displays up to 8K, a Ryzen 5 6-core 12-thread x86 CPU up to 4.2 GHz, 16GB of fast DDR4 3200 RAM, 512GB of PCI 3X SSD power, and Bluetooth Wi-Fi 8 complete with Windows 11. But Linux and other distros are fully supported. As a dedicated gaming PC, it can run modern games, retro arcades, classic consoles, and is smaller than a book and costs less than £270, which can be even less if you use my links down below. Now this is far less than a decent laptop, an Xbox Series S, Steam Deck or Switch 2, but it offers greater scalability and use cases at a low price. We know it's small, but is it mighty? Now the little box is a solid metallic sturdy unit and comes with a Kensington lock slot, VESA wall mountable plate, dual HDMI out, dual USB-C Gen 2 3.2. It even has a 3.5mm phono jack for the full retro connection of stereo speakers, and can be upgradable internally with other features. You can see the full specs on screen, but check out the link below on the website to get even more details. All this, and it's still small enough to disappear on any desk, side table or cabinet, taking up less volume than a DualSense or Series X controller. It packs an AMD Ryzen 5 7430U APU with Radeon RX Vega 7 graphics.
Jim, I need you to stay focused. It's dangerous out there. Drive slow and let me deal with any trouble.
Expectations need to be put in check. If you are expecting current generation quality 4K gaming and ray tracing, you're not going to get that on this menu. However, expect somewhere around PS4 to Switch 2 levels of quality. CPU wise, expect much more. But this is not what this device should be used for. It really is a jack of all trades. Streaming gameplay, lightweight video editing, video server, net server, business focused work, coding, accounting, even light web or data servers are all viable options from this little box, as are modern games in a cut down form, such as big hitters in The Last of Us 2, which runs at very low settings with just 512MB of VRAM, as does Ghost of Tsushima, Arkham Knight, which manages to exceed Xbox One visuals and performance, and even the console crushing Cyberpunk 2077 can run and compete around the Valve Steam Deck levels. It's not bad for a unit that can fit in your pocket, well, some pockets anyway, and it can run all these games at less than 35 watts. But modern gaming is not really where this machine excels, and Hyatt had a very different plan for this little gem, a way to bring the old and new together. Using the ease of hardware emulation, modern free emulators, instant loading and excellent quality, an all-in-one DIY retro emulation box. Something I feel it could have been designed for, and not just any emulator. A 1970s to 1990s mix of arcades, consoles and even home micros and PCs. Hooked up to an LED or OLED panel, it looks and plays excellent. With filters turned on, you can even get some retro faux CRT displays, but we can do even more. With the ease of some cheap retro connectors, we can take this HDMI experience up a notch and back further to the period appropriate CRT or even better multi-sync monitor experience. So let's get that PC engine started. Now for this particular use case, I've opted for RetroArch as a single core manager and then mixed up a selection of MAME, Arcade, Mega Drive, PC Engine, SNES, GameCube, C64, Amiga and PC-DOS titles to showcase the ease, speed and quality we can achieve. But really, the world is your oyster. If you can find the emulator, this will probably run it. Those who watch me regularly know I am an advocate and own and use almost all period hardware, from the Magnavox to the Mega Drive, from the Atari VCS to Atari ST, Amiga, Archimedes, it goes on and on. The fact is, it's not practical, let alone cheap or easy, to source, use and maintain all these various pieces of hardware, let alone the amount of controllers you'll have dotted around each of these pieces of kit. Now this is where emulation comes into its own, offering a single solution to create a retro arcade, computer, console and all in one unit. No hassle finding plugs, carts, controllers or space. Here we just set up our emulator cores, install a vast selection of games and ROMs, getting yourself a nice tidy front end and deliver our childhood in glorious simplicity from a budget price. So let's turn back the clock and give it a spin. The results are exceptional, as you would expect. Spec-wise, the unit is overpowered for this job. It can exceed an Xbox One and even an average gaming PC of around the same era. CPU is around a 3600X desktop level, and GPU-wise it can run even early 2011 generation PC titles under DX8, 9, 11 and 12. But the benefit here is it can be easily fitted into a small-scale arcade form factor at full height or mini size, under a TV on your wall, in a drawer, or even attached to the side of a CRT. Boot up straight into a carousel of games, genres and decades, controlled by a Bluetooth pad of your choice, or mouse, steering wheel, or even arcade stick. Once ready, then picking from Space Invaders to Spider-Man is simply a button press away. With Afterburner 2, we get all the Top Gun 60 FPS sprite scaling System X visual splendor, which still looks superb and sounds exquisite with those stereo bass speakers, although you don't get that 360 sit-down cabinet. As does the earlier Outrun from Yu Suzuki, a super smooth, even at 30 FPS game. Remember, Afterburner hardware was the first to push to 60 in '87. But the fun, serenity, challenge and genuine icon of the 80s arcade scene it was, remains perfect on a CRT inside a cab, desk and even on a modern LCD, creating the Magnum PI meets Cannonball Run frenzy of the era in a game that reinvigorated arcades then and still personifies the final heyday of sticky floors, 50p's and high scores in a sit down or stand up cabinet. Now on this Geekom little box with faux CRT filters, we are still running at the original 30 FPS rate, but it scales smoothly, plays as good and looks great on this 28-inch Asus 240Hz LCD monitor. But the true glory days are delivered on the 4x3 multi-sync monitor here, with no need to fake the phosphor quality, contrast and unrivaled response times that just cannot be equalled by modern screens. All we need now is the sound of the seaside, fish and chips smell in the air, and a change machine for the 10p's. And we're in 1985 all over again. The ease and joy here in jumping into any genre, era or hardware we want is exquisite. Early 80s sprite swamping beat 'em up action to Golden Axe 2 Revenge of the Death Adder in the early 90s are easy and impressive as ever. Maze marching, pill popping, jelly chewing Pac-Man is another. It delivers in seconds, complete with the arcade signature tune and sound. The sheer range and decades it handles without any problems and pulls less than 28 watts with the best I tested here from the plug. C64 to Amiga, Monkey Island to Magic Carpet, Street Fighter 2, Ghouls and Ghosts, Golden Axe, Virtua Racing, the RM legend that is R-Type in all its forms, arcade, stunning PC Engine, Amiga and even Master System. The PC can be hooked up to play every game, genre, generation and format you can think of at the push of a button. And when your thumbs have become too weak to continue, you can roll back to Windows or Linux, fire up a movie, watch YouTube, browse the net or get some work done, all for less than £270. It offers up an almost unrivaled level of value and form factor, which means it can be used anywhere and pretty much for anything in any DIY option and it's so well built, well ventilated, running below 65 degrees even in the baking 30-degree heat we had here in the UK during much of my testing. It not only looks and feels robust and industrial, but it packs power inside that can deliver our retro gaming dreams for next to nothing. And can you really put a price on such bliss? I'd like to thank Geekom for sending me this unit, and actually I have a lot of things planned with this device, so stay tuned for more videos to come in my own personal time. Try and get some even more and bigger benefits out of this little box. Remember, if you are interested in one of these machines, not particularly the spec, they do go much higher than this if you want, and you can check out the links below and you'll get a discount using that, and obviously go online and check out all the options they've got on the Geekom website. But that's all I've got for you today on all things retro, modern and CRT related. Now remember, if you like what I do here, I am fully self-funded and independent, so you can help by liking, sharing and subscribing down below. Obviously put a comment, that really helps. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and obviously if you want to support me for a few dollars or pounds a month, that really helps for this and any other content that I can create, giving you exclusive access and early access to things that I do create for my patrons. You can check that over out on my Patreon website, and you can also check out my full website to read more details on this and many other things that I've put together. Anyway, I'm out, but I'll see you very soon on the next one.